Hey, I'm here with one of the OG Revolting Youth and one of the most talented young people I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's Zoya Eshwar. Zoya, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for interviewing me.
This is the coolest thing in the world. I got introduced to you as one of the great sort of artistic talents around. You're an artistic prodigy. You've done amazing things at such a young age, and you were a fan of School for Good and Evil, and you offered to do kind of an early art piece for Young World. So you were really one of the first people ever to read the book.
Yeah, that was really cool actually. The
Um,
story was really good.
I'm so happy you had a good time. We're going to talk about the painting you made and everything like that. I want to first talk about how you got into being a painter and an artist. How did this all start?
Well, actually, I started painting when I was 2.5 years old.
Oh my God.
My mom was also an artist. And so from there, I just kind of, I used to volunteer at the senior living centers when I was 4 years old. And then when I was five, I had a lot of extra artwork and um, donated it to, and sorry, I donated the proceeds from that art show to support kids with Down syndrome
Hmm.
because I had a really close friend who had it.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, from there, I told my friends about it and they were so excited. And I started an initiative called Pastel Souls for kids like me who want to give back through art. And
Okay.
from there, my art journey kind of started. And all of us are kind of like a family. And we do a bunch of events together at like the Redmond Library, seniors and memory care units, veterans and their families, and women and children at the shelter.
And
So that's kind of what it's about.
if you just have a normal day, what do you like to paint? Like if you have complete freedom and a blank canvas, what do you tend to make?
Most of my artwork are usually of people because I feel like whatever I want to express can be used through like the facial features or the eyes. And yeah, I really like doing anything with eyes because I feel like I can express what I really want to say through that art piece. So I
And so
tend to do portraits.
that's amazing. Do you ever do portraits of like your family and friends?
I haven't because I feel like doing a portrait of someone you know is a lot more difficult
Hmm.
because it's kind of like your brain kind of makes up what you think they look like. So I tend
Yeah.
to do people I don't know or just make up how a person looks like.
That's really interesting because like you sometimes you'll see when they unveil the portraits of presidents, like US presidents in the portrait gallery, you look at these portraits and you're like, these are really strange. But I think it's that, right? If for an artist, it's difficult to kind of, sometimes accurately capture someone you've seen so many times. Um,
Yeah.
and how old are you now?
I'm 13.
13. Unbelievable. Okay, so tell us about the painting behind you of the School for Gnievo. When did you do that one?
I think I did it in 2025. That's actually one of my favorites. I did it because I read your story and I really like the moral behind it about how like nobody's like fully good or fully evil. It's yeah, and I really like that story, so I made that painting that's behind me over there.
When I got it,
It's
I
so
couldn't believe it. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And I'm assuming that when you made it, you were probably what, 12?
yeah.
Which is unbelievable. I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable. Okay, so tell us about like the process of making that. Because you had read the books, did you do sketches first? How did you plan it out?
Yeah, for different paintings it's different, but for this one I looked through the book again just to see a bunch of elements and to kind of symbolize the good and evil part of it. Yeah, so for this painting specifically, I drew the girls and then kind of from how I thought they might look like, and then took some really important elements and then did that. I didn't really sketch it first, I just kind of imagined it and drew it on the canvas.
And the canvas is pretty big. I mean, that's the one of the cooler things. We're going to show some of the video of how you made the one for Young World, but the canvas is pretty big. And
Hmm.
so, from what I could tell, you like to paint on the floor.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Um,
how did that come to be? Like, you just kind of stretch out over it, And because, you're quite small, you're only 12, 13 years old on these big canvases, and you're just kind of stretched out, kind of going to different corners of it. Is that how you've always done it? Is that just the most comfortable position?
Yeah, reaching on top of the canvas is hard unless I like stand up the entire time because these canvases are as tall as me.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's why I kind of keep it on the floor.
And is that how you
And
like to do it? Does it feel more comfortable down there?
yeah, unless it's like a small canvas where I can just sit. I usually sit and do my artwork because I usually do it for like a really long time.
Yeah.
Like for Young World, this one, I took I think 108 hours on it. And I think I did it on the span of like 2-ish weeks.
It's
So yeah, I do it
unbelievable.
quite a while.
Let's talk about the Young World one because it's just fantastic. I can't wait for everybody to see it. Um, so what's different about the Young World one from the School for Good and Evil one is the School for Good and Evil one is kind of like one main scene. And with Young World, you're kind of capturing the chaos of the book and all the different aspects of it. And it almost feels like a dream with different elements on that canvas. What was your kind of initial vision for it? And did you kind of work in sketches for a while, trying to come up with the whole plan?
I think a really helpful part of your book was that there were a lot of pictures in it,
Hmm.
and that like made it a lot easier to visualize what this character might look like. I think there was like a silhouette, and then I
Yeah.
just used that plus like a bunch of descriptions of the character to make it. And yeah, a really like hard part about this was trying not to give away the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just kind of took a bunch of key elements that wouldn't give it away, and then just yeah. And a lot of harder parts was I didn't know how each thing looked like.
Hmm.
Like for the School for Good and Evil, there's like fan art and a bunch of stuff, so I know how people visualize how it looks like. But
Yeah.
this nobody's ever seen it, and so I
Yeah.
had to go off a few pictures and descriptions. That probably would be the hardest part, and yeah, I kind of made that using those
Well, also
details.
what's amazing about it is I think there's because both of us are, I'm assuming you're Indian, yeah?
Yeah.
So both of us are Indian, yeah? And so what's interesting is, oh, sorry, let me wait for this thing to pass. I live right on the highway with the hospital.
You can't really hear it because
Oh,
Zoom
we're good.
filters
Okay, okay.
out.
Okay, okay. So both of us are Indian. So I think the other interesting aspect of this book is it deals with US politics, but then also there's a huge kind of Indian political element to it also, right? So how are you kind of dealing with those two things? Because I'm sure you wanted to show off both in the painting, which you end up doing.
hmm Yeah, I have like an Indian flag with I'm pretty sure like one of like the characters from
Yeah.
your book.
Hmm.
And yeah, to capture that, I did that because I'm pretty sure that's like one of the most important parts
Hmm.
because that's behind the plot. And so yeah, that's one of the key things like over here.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how I did it.
And then I also love that you put Benton at the center of it, because he is who becomes the president. At age 17, he's carrying a can of his favorite soda, which is Nuke Cola. What do you think of him as a character? What were kind of the main qualities you wanted to capture and how you painted him?
I think a really great part of your character is that it's like really relatable, and that was what really surprised me the most because this character is very different from Sophie and Agatha,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so making like a whole new character that's really different and that kind of gives like the modern time of how
Mm.
people speak was like really impressive. Yeah, for like the new cola and like the two-fingered Y, I used it from a bunch of like pictures in the
Yeah.
book. Yeah, so I think that Benton as a character is really great from what you wrote because I think it's so cool that it's so different from all the other stuff you've written.
Well, also because I feel like he's quite different from you because I think of Agatha in The School for Good and Evil, who's just like so smart and so sharp and on it. And I feel like you would have read Agatha and think like, okay, like I get this girl. She and I would have been friends. You probably look at Sophie as slightly irresponsible and crazy. You know what I mean? And then you look at Benton and you're like, you probably have some thoughts about Benton as well and some of his life's choices. But I also think you would have made a great revolting youth leader. Like I can see you at that G8. I can totally see you having plans and like a platform because no one at your age is as sort of like, smart and talented, artistic and self-aware as you are, you know. So I'm sure to some extent when you were reading it, you were like, oh yeah, if I would be fine in this environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think another great part of your book was even though I know nothing about like the government and all that
Mhm.
stuff, you made it really easy for even like a younger reader like me to understand the importance behind this thing for this event, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
another great part of it.
That's good because I also feel like, you know, the political system, not just of the US, but other countries can be a little like intimidating. You know, people get afraid of politics. And I didn't know much about international politics when I wrote the book also, you know. So I think what's cool is when you make art, whether it's a book or a painting, you're kind of starting from scratch, right? So when you
Mhm.
did the painting for Young World, or even the painting for the School for Good and Evil, did you have one part of it come to you first? Like, was there in either painting, did you have something come to you like that became the genesis for it?
So I feel like I try to start off with the main character and the
Mhm.
descriptions. From that, I kind of just try to imagine how they would be and kind of draw that. I think Benton's probably the most proud I've been of how a character looks like. I first did with Sophie and Agatha, but I think Benton is so cool. Like when I made it, I was so proud of myself.
It's what's
Yeah.
also amazing is it's a totally different style, right? So if you look at Sophie and Agatha, you're playing with angles, you're playing with shadow, it's almost they remind me of stained glass a little bit,
Mhm.
like it's a stained glass effect almost. And Benton is so kind of like modern and bright and you feel like you're in a contemporary scene with him. So I think you've been also been able to show two different styles of your art.
hmm Yeah, I actually started off doing more like realistic
Mhm.
paintings, like realism. But then, since my mom also like teaches art, I kind of wanted to develop my own style, something that she
Yeah.
doesn't teach. So,
Yeah.
I looked into cubism. She doesn't really teach that, and I thought it
Mhm.
was like so cool. And I felt like I could express what I wanted to say through that art style. A lot of my artwork now is cubism, and I'm really proud of them. So that's why I think I was able to do both because I'm familiar with kind of both art styles. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
tell us about your relationship with your mom in terms of your art. Like, do you kind of show her things in progress? Or do you just kind of run free and show her only when it's all done? How much like when you were doing the Young World one for 108 hours, how much is she kind of involved in that process and how much is she just kind of waiting until you're done?
So no, actually, I did most of it. Like, sorry, I did this all on my own.
Yeah.
I don't think she didn't really give me any pointers because I felt like this was kind of important that to me because a lot of the stuff I do is something that she helps me like initiate with. Like
Mhm.
Pastel Souls was something she start helped me start.
Yeah.
And I kind of went from there. So I wanted to do this like kind of on my own to make it like my thing, to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah.
really proud of it.
And will she look at it like along the way and she's like, "Oh, I see what you're doing," or does she just kind of like let you do your with the Young World one? Did she just kind of come in at the end and tell you what she thought? Like, what was her reaction?
Yeah. Uh, she thought it was so cool after it was done. Yeah, and I even showed my friends. Not like that, but I had one friend that I showed it to because she was there kind of like the entire journey. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I was really proud of it. She was really proud of it, but she kind of saw it at the end. So yeah.
That's amazing. I can't wait for everybody to see it and also like all your friends to see it can hopefully read the book and be like, "Okay, now we know why this is here and what's happening." Because I think if you look at this, your first thing is, well, what happens in this book to
hmm
make all this crazy stuff happen? What's coming next for you in terms of, is this something that you feel like is going to be your main career? Do you still see it as something you just do for fun? You know, you're only 13, so it's like the whole world is open. I'm just curious how you see your art in the context of your life.
Yeah, I do art as a like a hobby. I've
Hmm.
never wanted to do it as like a career, but
Hmm.
right now I do it a lot for fun because like it helps me like tell stories. I'm not a very good writer, but I feel like I can tell stories through art instead.
Yeah.
And that's what most of my art pieces are about. I never thought of doing it as a career, but recently I have been selling my artwork to raise money for the Global Peace Initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a selected artist to build a peace monument for the Middle East,
Mm.
and I did the design for it. And I was working with a team of artisans to like bring it to life as like a maquette, and which is like a miniature version of the monument. And yeah, so it's gonna be pretty big. I think 17 feet, and we're
Oh my
planning on
God.
having it in the Middle East.
That
Yeah.
is amazing. So if you know, because all the people watching or listening to this, is there anything you want them to know about your art, where they can support it, where they can see more of it? Where should they go?
I have a website which I have a like kind of like my portfolio on there.
Mhm.
It's called Zoya's Rainbow Touch.
Mm.
Yeah. So I also have social media, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, and that's also the same name. And yeah, so the my paintings have like prints of it, which
Mm.
you can buy too.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So Zoya's Rainbow Touch on Facebook, Instagram, and the website Zoya's Rainbowtouch.com.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I am absolutely wowed by this, and I just am so honored you were one of the first people to ever read it. And I can't wait for you to see the finished copy of the book because it is exactly what you read, just a whole lot brighter and a lot more neon. And yeah, thank you for being your amazing artistic self. And I hope you keep painting and making amazing work.